I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business. And
Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger
than,
the only
younger
time
than.
He fought another boxer his size was
He
Tom
lost.
Fury, and he lost. Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger
than,
the only
younger
time
than.
he fought another boxer his size was
He
Tom
lost.
Fury, and he lost.
I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and then Jake Paul's world collapsed after a lifetime sentence. Well, who could have predicted that the guy who built a career on YouTube pranks would end up with a real lifetime sentence in the boxing world? But hey Jake, you thought you could just stroll into Showtime Boxing and call yourself a champ. Nice try. And Jack Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger. Then only time he fought another boxer his size was Tom Fury, and he lost. Boxing's not like one of those gotcha pranks. There's no edit button to save you, and if you mistake it for one you must face the music with a lifetime sentence. And Jake Paul's very smart, man. Like he gets guys that he's bigger than. Only time he fought another boxer his size was Fury, and he lost. Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed king of YouTube, and boxing's loudest wannabe, has hit rock bottom, and honestly it's been a long time coming, and let's not sugarcoat it. This guy built his empire on controversy, trash talk, and a knack for getting under people's skin, and for a while it worked. Tyson is averaging more punches than he did in that fight with McBrien in the exhibition against Roy Jones, where he averaged 24 punches around. Like I said, I don't like keep messing that he swaggered into the boxing world throwing punches and cash, convincing everyone that he was the real deal. But now Jake's world is crumbling faster than his excuses, and it's kind of satisfying to watch. When Jake first stepped into the ring, he wasn't just selling fights, he was selling a fantasy. I'm the future of boxing, he'd yell, chest puffed out like he just coded Muhammad Ali in his dreams. However, the reality was far less impressive. Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost. Take his fight with Tyron Woodley, sure it ended in a TKO. But did anyone believe it? Woodley, a seasoned MMA fighter, went down in a way that screamed Hollywood script more than box ring. But let's talk about the fight-fixing scandal, because this is where the whole Jake Paul's serious athlete show went up in flames. This guy dared to set up a fight with Mike Tyson and allegedly tried to rig it. Mike Tyson, the man who could probably knock someone out with a glance, according to leaked documents and insider whispers. Jake and his team were cooking up some shady deals to tilt the odds in his favor, because why rely on skill when you can just cheat? Right, this right here, skip. Jake Paul has everything to win if he was to defeat Mike Tyson. Fans weren't just disappointed, they were furious. This wasn't just another Jake Paul stunt, this was a direct slap in the face to boxing, a sport built on blood, sweat, and respect. And Jake, he treated it like his personal TikTok challenge, and everybody was saying nice shot by Jack, right hand by Paul. That is his most. The much hyped showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on November 15, 2024 was supposed to be the year's event. Instead, it turned into a masterclass in controversy and disappointment. 65 million people worldwide tuned into Netflix for this spectacle at the AT&T Stadium in Texas. 65 million, and what did they get? A fight that felt less like a clash of titans and more like a poorly scripted reality TV episode. Mike Tyson's just being beat off Jack Paul, but how Mike Tyson's an absolute legend and one of the greatest fighters of all time. How can this YouTuber beat such a G? The result, Jake Paul won via unanimous decision. Yes, that's right, on paper Jake dominated the match, but watching it was a different story. The whole thing felt off, like watching a bad actor in a role he's completely unfit for but somehow thinks he's nailing. Jake didn't just outbox Tyson, he practically carried him through the fight, barely throwing anything that resembled an aggressive punch. He's superior mobility, yes, he's going to be more mobile, yes, he's younger, and he can move his feet around. So again, from round 1, nothing surprised me so far. Connects with a quick 1-2 combination. Time appears slightly off, he punches a fraction slower than in his prime. Of course they are, so round 1 was pretty accurate. And speaking of scripts, the pre-fight drama was straight out of a soap opera. This whole Jake Paul vs Mike Tyson fight was practically a script. I mean, you had an aging Tyson who'd been through more health issues, and his fight with Jake Paul, the whole fight had more pre-planned drama than a reality TV show. From the elder abuse accusations to the fact that Paul seemed more like a lifeguard making sure Tyson didn't drown in the ring than an actual fighter, and everybody was saying shot by right hand by Paul. That is watching a 27-year-old Jake Paul shuffle around the ring with a man 3 decades his senior. Felt wrong on so many levels. Tyson, while still intimidating in presence, wasn't the Iron Mike of old. The man was coming off a delayed fight date because of a stomach ulcer flare. Up, and let's not gloss over the expectations versus reality situation here. This bout was marketed as the fight of the year, a clash between two titans from entirely different worlds. What fans got was a glorified sparring session. Jake Paul 12 of 53, 23%. Tyson coming out aggressively. Jake danced around. Tyson threw a few punches that barely grazed their target, and the whole thing wrapped up with Jake's hand raised in victory. Fans were understandably furious. Social media exploded with criticism, with many saying they felt duped into watching what was essentially a publicity stunt masquerading as a professional fight. I believe that he was making the money he says he's making. Showtime Boxing wouldn't have gone out of business, and Showtime would have made sure they kept paying him right. The backlash wasn't just about the fight itself, it was about what it represented. Jake Paul has always been a polarizing figure, but this took it to another level for traditional boxing fans. This was yet another slap in the face, a blatant reminder that the sport they love is being turned into a joke by celebrity influencers chasing dollar signs. You can't fight like 2 days in a row. You wasn't the Tyson Jake fight, wasn't that? Laughter. Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing they got paid so much money for that. And Jake, he seemed entirely unbothered by the criticism, basking in his win and the alleged $40 million payday that came with it. Well, X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X. But here's where it gets really messy. After the fight, whispers of rigging and scripting began to surface. Leaked documents and insider accounts suggested the whole thing might have been pre-planned down to the scores themselves. Shows with his superior mobility. Yes, he's going to be more mobile. Yes, he's younger, and he can move. His suddenly Jake's unimpressive performance made a lot more sense if the fight really was fixed. It explains why he was pulling his punches and why Tyson, despite being a shadow of his former self, never seemed to be in any real danger. Fans who had already felt let down by the lackluster fight now had a new reason to be furious. FSB issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. So where does this leave Jake Paul? Facing the music finally, legal challenges, accusations of fraud, and a growing wave of public disdain have started to chip away at his invincible persona. This fight, which was supposed to solidify his status as a serious contender, has instead turned into a PR disaster. The once unshakable influencer now finds himself at the center of a scandal that might just be too big to bounce back from. He wasn't even good at the end. And now he's 58 and he's been living the kind of life he's been live. How's he going to have a chance? How's he? I'm putting everything on PA. I'm laying 180. I think it was 180 was getting was 2, I think up to 220 whatever, but it was 180. Where to even begin? Jake Paul's arrest wasn't just a legal procedure, it was pure unfiltered theater. The once cocky YouTuber turned boxer found himself surrounded by officers, and for once his mouth wasn't running a mile a minute. This wasn't just a shock to the fans, it was a headline writer's dream come true. The charges: breach of contract and potential fraud. That's right, the guy who spent months hyping up his fight with Mike Tyson couldn't even keep his legal ducks in a row. But it wasn't just the charges that had people talking, it was Jake's reaction. Panic doesn't even begin to describe it. You can't fight like 2 days in a row. You wasn't the Tyson Jake fight, wasn't that? Laughter. Amazing. Yeah, it's amazing they got paid so much money for that. One moment he was bragging about his $40 million payday, and the next he looked like a deer in headlights. Gone was the over-the-top confidence, replaced by a meltdown so public it made even his harshest critics cringe. Tyson's 58 years old, you know what I mean. Jake fought a guy who was his age and was also considered a boxer, and he lost. If you thought Jake Paul was good at playing tough, this moment revealed the reality behind the act. All those Instagram posts, flashy cars and trash talk couldn't mask the fact that when the pressure hit, Jake folded faster than a cheap lawn chair. The arrest wasn't just a legal issue, it was a full-blown character expose. Fans who had once cheered him on were left wondering, was any of it real? Hello, if Jake Paul thought getting cuffed was the low point, he was sorely mistaken. The fallout from the allegations of fight tampering is nothing short of catastrophic. And quite frankly, me too, 'cause I don't want to hear any of you dumb __ anymore. Today I'm reading your troll comments and eating them. Is first up is the looming threat of a lifetime ban from boxing. That's right, Jake, the self-proclaimed savior of modern boxing, could be permanently booted from the sport he's been trying to legitimize himself in. Yeah, I mean, I'll be down, let's run it.